Big Steve.
Cool. Shout out Michael Bisping. Let's go. UFC Teixeira Lewis. One last breakdown before the card tomorrow. Nice and quick one. I did a little bit more tape. This is basically my full card breakdown prediction. I have a few bets. I'll talk about the other bets I'll probably lock in. After this, I'm going to look at Cage Warriors. Looks like a good card. Alrighty, let me quickly talk about ACA, right? ACA, and then I don't have to do a little breakdown. So some dodgy stuff happened, right? I ended up betting Lincoln Puig or Lincoln Henriquez, and Bet Online removed my bet. Right, I had full unit, $600 to win $450. They removed my bet. Apparently, some glitch has been happening, and that annoyed me a little bit because you're taping. ACA is not the hardest to profit. Profited last time with Batista, and then this time, and then you realize you're doing better. But other than that, there's some good reads. Michael Silva. Oh, I should have faded Rash Manfio. I said he went up to $1.40. Manfio has now been finished 3 times back to back, and he was moving up. And I was going to play. I did play Gasanov, but only for $150 because the limits were crap. And I was going to, tip it out if he was still an underdog because ACA always, you play a dog and then someone plays the favorite. And this Batalov guy they were in Chechnya. He's one of the Karadov guys. Apparently, he got robbed by Gasanov. So I played, 150 there to win 240, one old unit. And then I really liked Bagov. I decided to pass on it. He got knocked out. So, yeah, I'm mainly just talking about this because, look after your bet online. If you're locking your bets in for tomorrow, make sure you actually lock them in. I don't know if this glitch is still going on. It happened to Pierce as well. He had a lot more money on it. So just stay diligent. Stay diligent. Parky, any boxing bets? My friend, I like Taylor today against Serrano to beat her the third time. I just think she's the better boxer, but I'm not really going to bet it. Seems like a shit show. And then tomorrow, there's a lot of high-level fights. Matias, bunch of pick'em fights. I don't know. So far, I don't like anything. So it's not as fun to tape as MMA, so I'm not going to force it. Subhuman. Thanks for listening, my friend. All right, let's get into it. Bummer about the disappearing bet. It is, but, I won a little bit on that Gasanov guy. I had a full unit on fading the GOAT, not like Djokovic in tennis. Right, 600 to win 300, minus 200 made no sense. So yeah, it's okay, $500. It's all right. It's made me forget about things. And if we have a big UFC tomorrow, I'll forget about Lincoln completely. Alrighty, let's get into it. All right. So first fight on the card, Fatima Clyde, Melissa Martinez. Right. I'm just gonna say it. I think anyone playing the under or doesn't go is a little bit square. It's like pick'em. And I don't give Melissa Martinez any finishing upside. I almost don't give her any winning upside. So it's all on Fatima Klein's side. And right, if you've actually taped the fights, you don't even have to tape the fights. You can just wiki cap. Fatima Klein has gone over 2.5 rounds in her finishes, like twice, right? So she has 3 finishes. Only one of them was on the 2.5, and that was Victoria Dudakova, who was, completely gassed out. And he almost made it to round 3. He was basically cruising over until Klein landed one brutal elbow, cut her open, and then finished it with ground and pound. So all I'm saying is, she fought this Sarah Kovacic. I posted her on my Twitter, cab driver. She's 5-5 now. And, she almost didn't get out of there. Almost made it to the decision. So all I'm saying is, why would you play the under 2.5 at pick'em when you can play Klein, inside the distance a bit better, or Klein rounds 2 or 3? That's what I'm personally liking. Klein 2 or 3. It's $3.60. It was on Neds. I don't know what's on Unibet. I didn't shop around. I wrote it down and I just thought about it. Basically, I think Klein will get many, many, many takedowns, and it's just up to Martinez. When will she get up? Will she get taken? Will she get finished? And when will she get finished? She was mounted by Yanez. Everyone's saying she was taken down by Elise Reed. So it's just, do you think she'll be finished? Do you think she'll survive? Do you think Klein will submit her or KO her? I lean Klein 2-3 KO if I want to be greedy, but otherwise I might just play Klein 2-3. Not saying she can't get it in round 1. Anything's possible. It's probably one of those ones where she finally gets it, but we'll see. Parkia likes the over. Always the contrarian, of course. But I mean, I like the over too. But just what's the over 1.5? Probably something really chalky. Over 1.5. Let's go on the GOAT book bet 365. It's actually not that chalky. $1.40. $1.40, but I'm not playing it just because, as I said, Klein will get a takedown maybe in round one. Sometimes she's patient. She likes to strike. So that's where we're at. I will say I have a good read of these fights. Last two times there was a 2-week break. I got rinsed. I overthanked things. I taped way too much. This one I didn't really, but just the reads were coming good. Mike Davis, Mitch Ramirez. This is the one fight I almost didn't tape at all. I just did like 5 minutes before the fight, before the podcast. Basically, do you think Mike Davis will decision him, submit him, or KO him? It's a levels fight in my opinion. Davis has his flaws. I bet him against Ziam and, almost pulled my hair out. I ended up, blowing his knee the first time and he pulled guard in round one and apparently had the issues with the inhaling the paint. And also, he has Lyme disease, which is quite evident in his fights. He just gasses very soon. But even then, he's mounting Ziam. He's getting that really deep calf slicer on Ziam, which probably submits 9 out of 10 guys. And Ziam is a guy that's trending towards ranking. I think you can potentially put Ziam in the ranking over someone like Bahamondes, So, yeah, just the levels fight. I don't know what Mitch Ramirez's path is. He can hit hard. He can get a takedown sometimes, but he's very slow, very unathletic. Under 2.5. I mean, again, it's just favors Davis, really. What do we have? Under 1.5 maybe? Plus money? There you go. If you think Davis takes him down, submits him, plus money. Davis KO submission, minus 200. A little bit worse than the under. Again, it's just like it's the Fatima Klein fight. Like you give Mitch Ramirez any finishing upside. I don't know about that. Mike Davis. Yeah, he got that 10 Levy out of there in under 1.5 rounds. So yeah, maybe that's the thing to play. But no strong reads. I'm not really forcing this fight. Alrighty. Kennedy Nchukwu versus Walter Walker. It's Walker or pass for me. He's coming in shape once again. Right? If he wasn't in shape, like against Bresky, there's issues, but he's coming in shape. Kennedy's coming in shape too. He's the lightest he's ever been at heavyweight in his 3 fights. So interesting fight. I think Walker can get takedowns. I think Kennedy can land stuff on the feet. I think Walker can land stuff on the feet. His striking is quite underrated. I think he doesn't have brutal power, but he does have heavyweight power. And Kennedy, he was chinny at light heavyweight. And, people are saying, no, he might not be because he's not cutting weight. But, sometimes chin is chin. It might not have anything to do with the weight cut. He's always been hittable. If you watch his Bresky fight, he was getting hit up. He was getting lit up. And then knocked out Bresky. He obviously has the hardware advantage over Bresky. So, I don't know. This feels like a pick 'em fight. And Kennedy is still hovering around minus 200 and worse. So, yeah, I feel like a pick 'em fight where it gets extended. Walker can, in my opinion, hit takedowns while gassed still. Walker can get the back. For example, I've hated that bum. What's the bum that Kennedy fought years ago? That's in PFL now. What's his name? I faded Daniel Marquez with Kennedy, and I was sweating, man. 10 minutes of back takes, right? And then he knocked him out. Now, I don't think Walker is as gassy or as chinny as Danilo Marquez, and we still get takedowns and get Bresky's back in round 3. So, interesting fight. They're both kind of big. They want to have a size advantage over the other one. So, I don't know. This feels like a pick 'em goes the distance, sloppy heavyweight fest. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a bit of value in Walker. There's a bit of value in the over, in my opinion. Parky, I think Walker is heel hook or bust. Why would you say that, Parky? Just because he hit 2 heel hooks in his last 2 fights? He has a lot of decisions on regionals. Kiwi Brew, it's been a while, my friend. Welcome back. I hope you've got your passion for gambling back. Alrighty. Lauren Murphy, Eduardo Mora. I'm not really interested in this fight at all. I thought the under at big plus money would be, the play, but, Mora, yeah, she doesn't really finish anyone that's not a cab driver. She needs top time finish equity. She didn't sniff anything versus Gomez or Veronica Hardy, who you could say is also quite small. Took her, way too long to get Montserrat Ruiz out of there, who is undersized, and she missed by 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds. And again, the rest of cab drivers, she went to a split with his 12 and 14. So generally, Lauren Murphy, incredibly durable. I don't think Mora packs any sort of punch, especially not like Jessica Andrade. She needs to take her down. She's not hard to take down, Lauren Murphy, but she has get-ups, and obviously she has toughness. And who submitted her? No one ever. Yeah, literally no one ever. So I get why the over is chalk, so I'm just really passing. Honestly, a part of me wants to play Lauren Murphy. That's how I'm feeling about this. If this is going over and Mora is, trying to play the technical striking game like she did against Hardy, she lost round 3. It was a 29-28. And she fought the perfect fight. Yeah, but it's crazy. It's just a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Parky, Walker strength of schedule in for me. I mean, is Kennedy's any better, bro? At heavyweight? He's just lost to OSP recently. He got knocked out by Jacoby. He got knocked out by Jung, a guy that's cut. Washed OSP, and he's beaten the 2 worst heavyweights in the division. Don't know, man. Minus 200. I think you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Every now and then, when Kennedy beats a rebound fighter that he should beat, just people just drink the Kennedy Kool-Aid again, and they just forget. I remember people parlaying him against OSP. Just never forget, guys. Don't forget. Go tape. Sometimes you have to go tape the earlier fights to just get a reminder of who the fighter really is. Alrighty. Jake Matthews, Chitty, it's still dog or pass for me. I've had that gut feeling. I hate Jake Matthews, by the way. But I had that gut feeling like he's the side. It's gone up to plus 140 somewhere. That's kind of calling my name. I feel like just locking it in without any tape. Like his win over Phil Rowe. Yes, Phil Rowe's an idiot, but it's aging well. Phil Rowe is going to be in the UFC for a bit. He's got his weaknesses, but he just knocked out Ange Looser. The first man to knock out Ange Looser. Close fight with Neil Magny. It was a close fight with Jack Matthews too, but yeah, tall, long guy, not hard to take down. The thing is, Chitty is hard to take down. Chitty is very wiry, hits a lot harder. He's got good volume. And, we've seen Matthew Semmelsberger drop Jack multiple times. We've seen Andre Fiallo drop him. We've seen Anthony Rocco Martin drop him. But he could probably... I don't know if Jake Matthews should be this much of an underdog. He's finally got 2 wins in the UFC back-to-back, and it's Prado and Rowe. Prado is a typical Jack Matthews win, a guy that's probably going to be cut in one fight or so. But Phil Rowe is better than usual. Phil Rowe is still going to be in the UFC. And Michael Morales, you watched that Michael Morales fight, 29-28? Competitive. Another long, durable guy with power. Yeah, he just feels close, competitive. I don't really rate Chitty knocking out Zaleski that much, because Zaleski was getting knocked out, by Leach, even when he was years more in his prime. He's always had kind of like chin issues, and he's like really old now. So yeah, dog a pass, but I'm not like, don't want to lock it in. Don't want to lock it in just yet. More tape needs to be done. What do we go next? Chris Curtis, Max Griffin. I mean, if you guys know me, I hate middle of the road welterweight fights, especially ones with Max Griffin. Morono, Tim Means, just whatever. And now Chris Curtis, professional victim, Chris Curtis is dropping down to welterweight to make me hate this fight even more. I mean, taping it, I'm like, okay, Curtis is really good, like he's up there competing with middleweight contenders, but he just loves to lose. So he loves to lose, and he's a boxer. And Max Griffin can stick and move in round 1 at least. He can stick and move, but his path is generally a split, which is just very annoying. Again, Michael Morales fight, 29-28. He was hurt there, survived. He's very durable still. It's just a shit fight, man. It's really hard to tape this fight. I don't really have any interest in it. What's Max Griffin plus 3.5, $1.80. I hate handicaps, but that one sticks out. Go the distance is disgusting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not interested in this fight. Let's move on. Junior Tafa Tuka Tokos. They moved my boy to the main card. Ask yourself this. Why did they move my boy to the main card? So I have 2 units on Tafa. Everyone knows this. I taped it a little bit more before the show because I wanted to have a clear, concrete read. And basically, what it comes down to is Tokos, one of the worst guys to ever do it. I don't think he's UFC level. I don't think he's. If he doesn't win this fight, and I hope he doesn't, he's getting cut. People say Tafa's a quitter. Tokos is a quitter. He almost quit in round 1 against Navajo Sterling, who can't finish anyone. He quit to Omar Sy. He's meant to be a jiu-jitsu brown belt. Omar Sy. How many finishes does he have in the UFC? None. That's his only one. He's fought Dong Un Jong and couldn't finish him. He's fought, obviously got knocked out by Zhang. Tai Guada got knocked out by him. Bum. He doesn't have any good decision equity. He's got one decision, which is this Gabriel Thimoto, 3-2 guy in Shoot, Brazil, in 23. That guy is now 5-6. 2 fights before that, he was a lightweight. I said he was a welterweight before. He was a lightweight, and then he moved up to light heavyweight, and he looks like a short, fat light heavyweight. And Tuka Tokos just ran around, jabbed him, and won a super underwhelming 30-27. So he did the same against Navajo Sterling. He was just running around, feinting. He's kind of like he can make things competitive because he's patient and he's evasive and he fights smart. But basically, if 28-year-old Tafa, with all the athleticism and power upside, if he fights smart, he should look more of a favorite than this price. Right. I do have 2 units on Tafa, $1,000, but that's not really my 2 units. I've upped my units to 600. So I was thinking that's probably a bit reckless on someone like Tafa. But then again, with my new units, it's $1,000 to win 1 unit, $600. So I'm like, do I just keep that? If you tape too much of Tafa, you will overthink things. But it's one of those ones. I give Tafa decision equity. I give him round 2 KO equity. I actually think KO is going to come in round 2. I think after a bit of a feeling out process, Tokos, he slows down as well, has really bad cardio. Trying to take him down round 1. I think round 2, Tafa's going to, just knock him out. Stuff a few body shots and just kill him. So that's where we're at. Kiwi Brew, I want to see Griffin win just to hear the next excuse from Curtis. Man, I hate both these guys, but it would be funny if Curtis lost. Tafa needs to retire if he loses to this bum. 100% agree. If Tokos wins this fight, as I said, he doesn't have any decision equity. I don't even know what it's going to look like. If Taco wrestles or cage pushes a lot tougher, decision might be interesting. Yeah. Dogfather played go the distance. I don't really like it. I think he's thinking it's going to happen again because it happened in the Alvin Hines fight. Honestly, man, Tafa should kill this guy. If he doesn't, I don't know. I don't know how this fight looks if he doesn't kill him. Sorry, someone just hit me up. I think Pepe just hit his massive dog on LFA. Let me have a look. Sorry, lads, I'm just getting distracted by the Discord. The Big Brain MMA Discord never sleeps, right? Never sleeps. I'm in there 24/7 even when I'm live. Alrighty, let's get back to this. Also, interesting that Junior Tafa under 1.5 rounds is now dropped to pick him. Someone's playing the over, so Tafa's getting action and the over is getting action, which doesn't really correlate, right? But I think Tafa can get a KO late round 2 or 3 or whenever. All right, Petrino versus Austin Lane. So I mentioned on the early pods that Petrino is a huge heavyweight and he was going to come in at 240. The guy has come in at 249, almost 250. That's 45 pounds over the light heavyweight limit, and he still has abs. He looks chunky as all hell. This is a big boy, man. I have the under here, right? I said it could be a little bit annoying. Petrino has a few knockouts after the 1.5 rounds, and if he wrestles, it potentially could go over as well because he doesn't really throw much ground and pound. But man, I don't like it. He's a little bit shorter than Austin Lane, and he's so full of muscle now. He's so full of muscle now. It's like, oh, bro, how slow is he going to be? But that's all I have. I have the under. What else are you going to play here? No way you can play Austin Lane. I think this is a bounce back for Petrino. You could maybe play sub. That's why I wouldn't really advise Petrino round one, round two KO. But that's where I was at. I just think if you play under 1.5, maybe you can get a sub, maybe you can get a KO, and maybe Austin Lane can crack him as well. But man, Petrino's not getting knocked out with that heavyweight neck. That's an insane neck on him. What's the under 2.5 out? Disgusting. Petrino KO, it's disgusting. Yeah, submission might happen. Hello, 6 Sound. Glimbot, I've heard this before. Have we ever seen anyone go for a gilly on... Have you ever seen Petrino go for a gilly? I know he's a black belt in jits. But, yeah, have we ever seen anyone do it? Like, I know he was wrestled by the Pleasure Man. The Pleasure Man took his back multiple times. And Bellato took him down, but I haven't really seen him attempt the guillotine. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alrighty, let's get back to this. Nate Landwehr versus Morgan Charrier. Okay, minimal tape on this one as well. I just taped Nate versus Ige because Ige's fighting next week versus a Wash People. And I wanted to see, does Ige have some value over Wash People, right? Surely he knocks him out. But it just reminded me that Nate Landwehr he's going to be racking up volume over anyone he faces, and just because of his chin. And he was basically winning every single round against Ige, but then he got dropped in every single round. I think Morgan, there's that risk with Morgan Charrier, but I think Morgan is worse than a lot of these guys. I think he's worse than Klein. I think that's a fact. I think he's worse than Onana for sure. Onama, Julian Rosa, Du Ho Choi, and maybe even Jamal Emmers. Maybe even worse than Jamal Emmers. I do think Morgan is just overrated. His split decision loss to Morgan Vucenic is aging horribly. Yeah, I just think he looks great. He's very athletic, he's very explosive, and he's very talented, but he doesn't put it together. So, yeah. Everyone's going to talk about, how he barely ever wins decisions. He's got 4-5 decision wins out of 15. 2 of them are splits. But yeah, it's Nate or pass. Nate or pass. Maybe you can live bet it, but who knows? I just feel like if I finally bet Nate, he might just get killed by someone like Morgan. But Glimbot, I haven't, but Lane is sloppy on takedown attempts. I don't know. Lane actually has really good double legs. He's got that NFL linebacker tackle. All right, Shady, what's up? What's my thoughts on the under? The Nate under? Well, as I said, I don't really like it. I don't really like it because Morgan Charrier, insanely durable. The bomb that he took from Wood, I think, would have knocked out a lot of people, and he's never been submitted as well, to my knowledge. So you're basically banking on Morgan Charrier to knock out Nate Landwehr, who I feel like is incredibly durable. He's been dropped many times by big power hitters, and he survives. So yeah, I don't like the under. And almost Korean Superboy could almost knock him out. He had to resort to a crucifix. Nate needs to make it a dogfight. I mean, correct. But Nate actually has a process. He's good at sticking and moving. He has a high guard. It kicks a lot. I like Nate. He's not just a brawler. Zucchini and Gabriel Miranda, what a resume. Basically the only people old mate Charrier can separate against are just cab drivers. Nate decision split. Yeah, possibly. Definitely more correlated to Morgan inside the distance, correct. I mean, it could happen, but it's just, I don't like him. I don't like him with like such specific niche outcomes, But then again, I did play a Vito Petrino under 1.5 rounds, which it's basically just him killing Austin Lane. But that was one of those ones. Why is it not more than minus 200 when Lane has been killed 7 times under 1.5 rounds, Just kind of like that bet itself should be more chalked. Speaking of others, Kevin Qatar versus Steve Garcia. I personally, this is a tough fight for me to get a read. Some friends played Qatar. The line has moved down to pick 'em. I'm not so flash on Qatar. I haven't been flash on Qatar for a long time. I played Emmett in a 5 rounder against him. Yeah, I just don't think he's much outside of a jab and a straight, extremely hittable, one-dimensional boxer. And now he's really washed. I think Garcia's in his prime. Yes, he's got some durability issues, but he can also knock out anyone, right? Steve Garcia is that guy that hands out your first knockout loss, right? He did it to old mate Mariscal. Well, he did knock out Mariscal. I don't know if it was his first. Mariscal was killed by Brito, but that might have been after. He did it to Chase Hooper. He did it to Melze Costa. So this guy knocks out people that haven't been knocked out before. So it just feels like Garcia will be there for 3 rounds unless he gets knocked out. He's not really a gasser like Giga Chikadze, for example. And he's bigger and he's very aggressive. And, Qatar's going to shell up and eat a lot of damage and throw back. And I can't hit the under either just because Qatar is extremely durable and I don't really want to rely on him to knock out Garcia. So just a weird fight. Just a weird fight where it's just so much volatility with Garcia all the time. And now it's pick'em. Generally, he's a big underdog or you get an under against guys that you think he can finish. This one, I want to see someone knock out Qatar, but I think he's going to eat a lot of punishment here. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Gabriel Bonfim. I've been saying this one. I think they're setting Bonfim up to just take down Thompson and easily run through him and get into the ranking. And I still haven't played it. I don't know. Something's stopping me. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I should probably play it. I thought about maybe playing the sub, but I don't know. What I'm thinking here instead is under 1.5 rounds. How often has Bonfim won, late? It's always early guillotines. Dalby finished him a little bit later. It was attritional. Round one. Angelusa, like, after he attempted a few guillotines and gassed out, it wasn't really... Yeah. Chaos Williams, he almost made it to round 3. He was very patient with Chaos Williams. This LFA fight in round 3, there were only 3-minute rounds, so it was really 7 minutes, not even 7 minutes. That's what I'm feeling. I might just have to play it. Bonfim sub, under 1.5 rounds. Wow, the under 2.5 has taken quite a bit of action now. Might just play Bonfim 1-2. At this point, I'm forcing it now. I'm forcing it because I let the line just keep on going. All right, and main event. I did a whole show on the main event. Derek Lewis, Teixeira, is the under 1.5 rounds a lock? I will say at the weigh-ins, Teixeira looks a little bit cocky. He's smiling a lot. He's a bit jittery. Derek Lewis looks very serious. Teixeira is just kind of can't stop smiling. It's kind of giving me maybe he's a little bit nervous vibes, right? Which is good for the under. I want him to brawl in there. I want him to be scared and go for the finish, and I want it to look like Pavlovich versus Lewis, and I want them both to just swing and bang and someone to die. I don't want to pick a side. I don't know if it's a dog or pass. I initially leaned Teixeira at -200. If he is special, he will run through Derek Lewis quite easily, so it's happened before. So that's where I'm at. There's not too much to talk about. It's an extremely volatile fight. Glimbot, could Bonfim get a KO? Yes, I think he could. He's been hurt many, many times, Wonderboy. My only issue is, can he land on him? Because Wonderboy is so evasive. But many have landed. Many have tried and many have landed. Lucky Tim, just here for the main event. Well, it's a short one, mate. So let's go through it. Fatima Klein, rounds 2-3 for me. 2-3 KO if you're greedy. Mike Davis, not interested. Kennedy Walker, I'm feeling Walker or pass. I'm feeling the over. I'm feeling a sloppy pick-em fight. And if I had to live bet Kennedy, no way I'll play -200 pre. Lauren Murphy or pass, honestly. I think this is going to be more competitive, but who knows? With a wash fight, I'm not playing it. Jake Matthews or pass. Chris Curtis, no thank you. I've got 2 units on Tafa. Just to win a unit, I should say. Vito Petruno, I have under 1.5 rounds. Nate Landwehr or pass. This is an easy choice. Coming Qatar Garcia, for me, it's Garcia or pass personally. Gamera Bonfim, get a takedown and finish. and 1.5 units on Derek Lewis to share under 1.5 rounds. I'm crapping myself with that one. It feels like Malik Brundage, but it is what it is. We'll let it ride. Worst that's going to happen is I'm going to lose that bet. But it won't be the first, won't be the last. Lewis at this price in a swinging match doesn't make sense. And I'm a Lewis fader historically. I can see it. Lewis looks locked in, and Teixeira looks a little bit jittery, a little bit cocky, a little bit nervous. So we'll see. Under 2.5 in the Bonfim fight is decent. Yeah, we'll see. All right, that's it. Peace out. Like and subscribe. Good luck tomorrow.